So let's say we have another situation. Also, guys, make sure to label these firm and market. I don't know if I already said that for you or not, but it's important. And then we have our market. Right? So we have supply and demand. And our firms are Q0, P0, 0. Also, does anybody know, can somebody answer the question of why we would never produce here? So let's say for whatever reason, let's say you have a curve that's funky looking, looks like that, and price 0. Why would we never produce here? Exactly. So your revenue would be less for the exact same cost. So you're always, whenever marginal cost is decreasing, you never produce where marginal cost is decreasing. So on our homework example, there was like a section where marginal cost was decreasing. You never produce there. You always want to produce after that point, because there's no reason to produce at decreasing marginal cost. In any case, so let's say, just like somebody, sorry, what is your name? Can you remind me your name?
Chris.
Chris. Just like Chris said earlier, let's say we have increased efficiency. So our costs are actually going to go down. So that's going to look like this. We have a new marginal cost curve, 2. Oh, I forgot to label this. Average total cost. My screen pad is dying. And then we have a new average total cost curve. Right? So we move from producing, wait, that doesn't make sense. Sorry. This is what happens when you, right. So we're moving from producing Q0 to Q2, right? Little Q2. So what's this going to look like on our market? Yeah, a shift to the right of our supply curve. And this time, just remember, this is due to increases in N, and this is due to increases in Q naught, or Q, little q, like the per firm production. That's what's going on here. So what are we going to see in the long run? Well, okay, so this is increasing to, oh God, did I do this? I hope I did this right. This is increasing to P1, which I'm actually just going to draw this as a line. Sorry, it's too many dotted lines. It's confusing. So it ends up being here, right? We have this. So, oops.
Wait, why did you draw the intersection there instead of where the new marginal cost equals the price?
So we'll get there in a sec. That's like the long run equilibrium. So, I mean, I agree that this sort of intermediate step is like, it's just do it, you know? It's like one of those things you just do. I mean, it's probably a very short-term step. Because in the very, very short term, P1, Q1. In the very, very short term, we're producing here at little Q1, and we end up having positive profits, right? Because we have this sort of difference. So there's this kind of this tiny little square here of positive profits. And whenever we have positive profits in the short run, what happens? Firms enter, right? Firms enter the market. And so we have a second shift in the supply curve all the way until we get to this point right here. We get back to the our equilibrium of 0 profits. So we go down to P2, which is going to be here. So do you see the order that I'm drawing things in? guys? Like, you want to make sure that like this is the price that you get to, so you start here and draw the line across. Like, just kind of, that way you end up having like nice aligned graphs. Yes?
You know the supply curve shifts down by a less amount than the equilibrium point. Like,
What do you mean?
like, how do you know like the S2 curve doesn't go any further and therefore like results in a loss or equilibrium?
Right, so we're going to assume, we're moving to long-run equilibrium. So, I mean, yeah, if you're looking at general equilibrium models, you're going to have this kind of like oscillation until you get to equilibrium. Is that what you're referring to? Like, are you saying how do we know that not too many firms are going to enter?
I was just saying like, because MC falls and then therefore the supply curve falls, but how do you know the supply curve doesn't fall to say the equilibrium doesn't move to P2 in like in a very short time?
Oh, it could. It could move to P2. But we're just like saying that it does. Because what happens if S1 is over here? If S1 is over here, then we have a price that's down here and we're making negative profits, so firms are going to leave and we're going to shift back to S2. So either way, you end up in S2. Is there another question? Yeah.
So if you're talking long run, supply is going to increase, which lowers the price, so wouldn't demand increase as well?
So, no, because we're moving along the demand curve. See how the quantity dependent is increasing. So this is like,
Okay.
yeah, you see, so we're increasing the quantity demand, but there's nothing, the demand curve hasn't shifted because the only things that have changed are the price that the consumers face. So, and this is due to increase in N, right? So this leads us really nicely into, I'm going to erase what's back there. Yeah.